This is episode 115 of the Beyond the Food Show, and today we're answering a listener question. I've tried everything and nothing works. What is the problem? Are you ready to dive into this? Let's do it. My name is Stephanie Dodier, clinical nutritionist. I reversed my diagnosis of anxiety, depression, adrenal fatigue, and obesity by going beyond the food. I can tell you one thing, that willpower, discipline, and deprivation aren't the permanent solution to transforming your relationship to food. So how do you leave overeating, emotional eating, food craving, and binging behind you so you have the food freedom to achieve all of your goal and be happy now? As a top 25 alternative health podcast in the world, this is the Beyond the Food Show. Hey ladies, this is Stephanie Dodier, and the question we answer today is coming from you over on social media. This one I think came from Facebook, and it goes as follows. I've tried everything and nothing is working. Or, why is nothing working for me? Or my favorite one, what is wrong with me? If that's you, know that there is a solution. It will not always be as is today. There is a possibility for you to find a solution, but you need to listen and listen very carefully. Not only listen to this episode, but listen around you. We'll get there in a minute. But what I want to share with you is a very personal story to put things in perspective for you and to let you know that you're not alone. And this is a story of my own personal journey, and it's very vulnerable. If you're a subscriber of my email, you have received the story. It's in your inbox right now. I'm going to try to compress it here to make it shorter, but go back to your inbox if you're a subscriber of the email. It should have come into your mailbox on Sunday morning. So I was there about 3 years ago, hating my body because I had gained weight, binging on all things forbidden. Actually was eating an entire store-bought pizza with extra cheese. And again, on everything forbidden, because at that point, processed food was absolutely forbidden. Carbs, gluten, yeast, dairy, everything that was forbidden was actually what I was binging on, and I could not control myself. And I was thinking that something was really wrong with me. And I had tried everything, not just in the realm of diet, but in the realm of exercise and protocol and supplement. And I felt frustrated. I felt that I was working harder than everyone around me. I was discouraged and I was depressed. Like I was curled up on the couch crying. And let me say, it wasn't funny. So if it's you, know that you aren't broken. I wasn't broken. You're not broken. You need to get out of that victim mindset. The longer that victim mindset kept on for me, the deeper and the deeper that I went into the cycle of eating and binging because I was in the whole guilt and shame cycle. So we need to get out of there. There's nothing wrong with us. If we can get ourselves out of that mindset of being the victim, we are possibly welcoming the solution. So you're ready for the solution? Number one, as I said, you gotta stop blaming yourself. It's not your fault. Blaming will not get you anywhere positive. And especially if your drug of choice is food and you keep blaming yourself, you will eat even more. What you have to understand, it is not your fault. And why? It's a very simple principle in life called, and I want you to repeat after me. You ready? I don't know what I don't know. Repeat after me. I don't know what I don't know. The solution to your problem is located outside of your circle of awareness, because everything that you do know Everything that is in your brain that you have a knowledge of, you've already attempted. Your solution is where you do not know, is in that circle of things that you do not know. And to best express that, there is a concept that I learned in the corporate world years ago. I can't even remember, probably 10 years ago, called the matrix of awareness. It's one of those fancy executive conferences that I attended. And I still remember the moment where that slide was presented to me in front of the whole audience. It was a pie chart. And for those that want to see the slide, it's in the show notes. So you can go to stephaniedodier.com/115. I'll put it there for you. But I'm going to try to best explain it. You ready? We're going to take a quick break from our chat to give a shout out to our show sponsor, Health IQ. And I am so excited to be partnering with them and bringing you forward an innovative insurance company for the American listener. Health IQ helps health-conscious people like yogis, runners, cyclists, weightlifters to get lower rate on their life insurance. Just like you save money on your car insurance for being a good driver, Health IQ saves you money on life insurance for living a health-conscious lifestyle. Isn't it time that we get rewarded for our good health choices? Now, how do you get started? Very simply by qualifying through the Health IQ quizzes. And also, listen to this, if you submit actual training data through the various apps available, you can save additional dollars. To get started now, simply go to stephaniedodier.com/health IQ and take the test to see if you qualify. And when you get to speak to an agent, mention the code Beyond the Food to support the show. So get started now on saving money on your life insurance. Now, a shout out to our other show sponsor, Muse. And I'm very grateful to team up with Muse to bring you the first tool in the world to help you learn to meditate at home. Muse is a wearable brain sensing headband that measures our brainwave and sends the feedback to an app on our personal device. I love my Muse because it transformed my meditation practice. I wear it daily for my 10-minute session in the morning, and it coaches me through my practice by giving me real-time feedback on what's happening in my brain and helping me refocus during my meditation. I love this partnership with Muse because it brings the tool to the first timer and it helps expand the practice of the more advanced meditator. So it's time for you to get your Muse on and learn to calm your mind through meditation. And here's the thing, as a listener of the Going to Beyond the Food show, you get 15% off of the purchase of your Muse. To take advantage of this offer, simply go to stephaniedodier.com/muse. And again, the URL is stephaniedodier.com/muse and register through this URL to get 15% off. So join me in my 10 minutes meditation practice every morning and get our Muse on and go beyond the food together. So, the matrix of knowledge goes as follows. Imagine a pie chart, a circle, and 75% of the circle is filled in, for example, with the color yellow. And that is what you don't know that you do not know. 75% of the circle is filled in with yellow, and that is the portion of knowledge that you do not know that you don't know. Pretty cool, right? You don't know that you don't know. About 10% of the pie chart is in green, and that is only what you know. What is in your conscious awareness that you know? Because you've been to school, because you've read a book, you attended a seminar. These are the things that you know. That's only about 10% of the entire world universe knowledge. You only know about 10% of what there is a possibility for you to know. And then about 15 to 20% of that pie chart is what you know that you don't know. There is things that you know exist, but you haven't digged into it. You haven't looked into it. You haven't been interested into it. So that pie chart is divided in 3 areas. Here's the kicker. 75% of that pie chart, the matrix of knowledge, you don't know that you don't know. It's as simple as that. So the solution to your problem that you've tried everything and nothing's work is in that portion of the pie chart, that big 75% of the things you do not know that you don't know. And that is the problem why you're stuck in that vicious circle, is because that solution is likely never been put in front of you yet, or you haven't looked into it yet. And there is a great deal to be said for exploring things outside of your circle of knowledge. So one of the things that I used to do when I worked in the business world is attend other industries' conferences. Once or twice a year, I was in the retail world and I went to a conference on mechanical engineer, or I went on a conference about the fashion industry. The reason why I went there was not to become a specialist of mechanical engineer or accounting. The reason why I went there was to gain knowledge that I didn't know. That's how I grew as an executive, is I exposed myself to different pieces of knowledge that I wasn't aware of. Now, my question to you is, how much do you do that in your own personal life? The thing is, we unconsciously have limits. Our limits are set by what we know. For us to explore solution, we need to go where it's uncomfortable. We need to move where we think that the solution is not. We need to move where it feels like it's crazy. We don't know what we're doing there. We don't know what this is going to bring to us. We have to get ourselves uncomfortable. And the longer we stay in that zone of comfort, so back in the days when I was in the corporate world, if I had stayed only in the retail industry, I would have not grown as an executive because I was stuck always with the same pattern. Another example for you to bring that back home, specifically around health and diet, is one of the patients that I had, a young woman, she was in the early 30s. She presented herself at my clinic with 10 years, get this, 10 years of severe bloating, yeast infection after yeast infection, like we're talking 1 every 2 months for the last 10 years of her life. Crazy, right? And she came to me because she was at the end of her rope. She really said, I've tried everything and nothing works. I don't know what you can do for me, but nothing works. So I did what I do, which is in the holistic world. We look at the food, we change the diet, we change the environment. I gave her some awesome, very powerful probiotics, some herbal formula to kill the yeast, and then bingo bango, 6 weeks later, it was gone. She hadn't had a yeast infection. She wasn't bloated. Everything was solved. But here's the thing. She'd suffered, at least for the last 5 years, with me, side by side with her. She was the best friend of my business partner. She knew what I was doing. I was there. I was seeing her at least once every month, but she was not willing to try something new. She wasn't willing to expand her circle of knowledge. The solution was right there, but she wasn't willing to see it for XYZ reasons. She continued to suffer the 5 years we were quote unquote friends in the same circle. I could have solved the problem 5 years ago. And every time I would hear her say about a yeast infection, at first I would tell her, well, there's a solution, but she wasn't willing to hear me or to see me. So to solve your problem, you need to go outside of your comfort zone. Have you tried something new? Or are you trying the same solution over and over and over and over again, beating yourself up because you're not getting the result that you want? If that is, you need to inject a new concept, new information into your life. You need to listen, Because the universe, God, whoever you believe into, is putting around you people that have the solution to your problem. But you are closed-minded. Maybe you're judging them because they're not like you or they think differently. So you're refusing to see the solution. Just like that patient of mine with the yeast infection, I was right there. I saw her at least once every month and sometimes multiple times a week when she would come and see her friend in the same building as me. I was there, but she wasn't ready. She wasn't listening. So my question to you is this. Are you listening? Are you staying open-minded to the solution? And if your quote unquote problem is around food, your relationship to food, binging, eating, emotional eating, overeating, maybe it is time for you to go beyond the food. Because maybe controlling the food, changing the diet is not going to be the solution for you. Because face it, if it was, it would have worked by now. So consider this. Is it time for you to go beyond the food? If you're ready, be sure to sign up for the class on Tuesday, February 13. You can register easily at stephaniedodier.com/webinar, or you can go to the show notes. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a new concept that you likely never heard of. You may feel uncomfortable, but know that you only know what you know. If you're ready to stop blaming yourself, come to my class, pick up a book, go to a local conference around you, go see a practitioner you've never considered going before, because that's likely where your solution is. There you have it. I've tried everything and nothing works. There is a solution. I know it sounds crazy, but crazy is my zone of genius. I'm grateful that you were here to listen to me. I want you to think of women around you right now. If there is someone who could benefit from listening to this episode, I want you to do a thing for me and them, which is to share the episode right there from the device you're listening into. Share this episode with them. You don't have to draft a note, just send the episode. It's a short one. It's less than probably 17 minutes. They can listen to it quick, and you may have a huge impact in their life. Leave me a review as well. Right there in your phone on iTunes, you just got to press review. And that's like fuel for me. And it helps me also rank the show higher. And you probably know we're in the top 10 right now. So it would really help me if you could leave me a review and help me keep the rank. And maybe we'll reach number 1. I love you. I'm looking forward to see you on the next episode. Cheers. Did you know that 9 out of 10 women are struggling with their relationship to food? Overeating, emotional eating, binging, and craving are real. Clearly, the solution we have been taught aren't working. I believe to have food freedom, it means that we must learn to have a relationship with our hunger so we can finally be at peace with food and eat normally without guilt or shame. Which is why I wrote the Crave Cure Guide. I want to show you how to have a completely different relationship with food so that you can be in control of what you eat, achieve your goal, and be the powerful woman you were meant to be. The best part is, this book and the step-by-step process is absolutely free. To receive your free copy, simply go to stephaniedodier.com/guide and we can get started right now.